You are listening to the Kentucky X-Files Season 3 with your hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also visit us at www.kyxfiles.com. And now, on to our show.
Bullshit. And we have a pause button now.
That's cool.
Spreaker, or we're not on Spreaker, right? Well, we technically will be.
Yeah, we're on Spreaker, but we're
on
StreamYard.
StreamYard.
This is for the visual pleasures of people on YouTube.
The YouTubers.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd use the term pleasures.
Yeah. Yeah. All 80 of you guys that are watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is for you. This goes out to you.
This reminds me of how one guy did a meme like to my followers. Do you guys want me to to my 3 followers? You guys want anything from the store?
That reminds me of Josh's White Castle story from last night. Tells me one time they were out raising hell and having a few beverages and pulled up to a cop, and Josh asked him, "Hey man, we're going to White Castle. You want anything?"
I had an open beer in the console. Not one of my finer moments. Pretty hilarious story now.
Yeah, now
hurt, but
could have went so differently.
Yeah, nobody got hurt, but I'm not condoning any of that. But that goddamn funny story.
Yeah, I was cracking up. Oh
man, that's actually funny. I have a White Castle story.
I think everybody does. That's one of those restaurants that is legendary, not because of the food, but because of the experience.
And mine didn't have a cop, but it ended up me going to the emergency room.
What the fuck?
Okay,
I gotta know now.
Okay, well, it's not that as bad, but it's funny.
Show real quick, and then tell us.
Oh, okay. You actually want to put it on the show? Okay. Welcome back, guys, to your Kentucky X-Files.
Okay. So what happened?
Okay. Okay. If you've noticed, I have stretched ears.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was first starting out, I had the little hoops, kind of like what Dave has.
Yeah.
But mine were a little bit thicker at the time. And I met Aaron, my old guitar player from my old band, and then we had this other guy that I don't want to say his nickname because it's not politically correct. I'm not gonna disclose that. But I remember he's like, "Hey man, let's go get some White Castle, man." I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go."
That's just
Everybody jumps into the car. I jump into the back. My fucking earring catches the door as I get in, and I plop in. It rips it right out, rips it right out of my fucking ear. So I just got 2 little danglies now.
Did you make the scream?
And I was like, oh, dude, it felt like somebody, it was weird. I didn't feel the pain, but I felt the pull of it, just, it was so, it's like pulling, meat apart. Just,
Denny, your ears aren't pierced, are they? So you don't know, because I've definitely caught mine a few times on things, and it hurts because mine's not quite as big as yours or Dave's, but it is gauged.
Yeah,
and I've snagged it on shit, like brushing my hair, get my finger caught in it.
Right,
you can't imagine pulling it out.
So, I never had the testicles required to call my dad's bluff about this very thing, because he was one of those, you pierce your ears, I will pull it out. And I'm like,
I don't want to call that.
I don't want that, man.
I don't know if I want to.
I'm just gonna skip this one. I might get a tattoo or something, but I'm gonna skip this one. Yeah.
But so as I was like, oh God, I'm like holding my hand and it just starts bleeding like crazy.
Imagine
And they
so,
turn
yeah.
around and they're like, dude, your ear. I was like, oh, I was just like, this hurts.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
I want to know.
And then they're like, do you want to get White Castle still? I was like, let's go through the drive-through and then let's go to the emergency room. So we went through the drive-through. I'm still bleeding. My whole side of my shoulder is like wet. We go into the ER and I was like, I'm eating White Castle as I go to the check-in. I was like, I'm eating. I was like, excuse me. And she, like, the lady looks up and she's like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, I ripped my earring out. Can somebody help me? Yeah. And then, so I give her my information and then we go sit down. So we're eating White Castle in the emergency room, waiting for them to fix up my ear.
I can just imagine him filling out the paperwork and just like, can you hold that for a second?
Yeah.
Your paperwork, ma'am.
Fucking eat my White Castle.
You dare eat my slider.
That's funny. So my White Castle story was nowhere near as gory. That's for sure. I've actually got two. While I'm telling one of them, actually I'll tell both of them. Fuck it. Can you get in the Rector chat, Denny, and snag up one of the pictures of all of us at the Gojira Mastodon show? That way the people can see Drummer Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so Drummer Dave and I, we've been friends for a really ridiculously long time. I think I was 12 because we're old. Yeah. I think I was 12. So him and I got into all kinds of hijinks, over the years.
You didn't make it any better by using the word hijinks either.
Yeah, I know. We were a couple of ne'er-do-wells, so I guess I'll start with the first one. One time we decided to go to White Castle after a few adult beverages, and we went to the Richwood, Kentucky White Castle. For anybody that knows, that's the best White Castle in northern Kentucky. And we were in line behind Blues Travelers. There he is on the right. There's Drummer Dave. So, yeah.
That's me.
There's me and my reason I didn't go to work the next day.
Yeah. There's Gojira in the background.
Oh, so it was so awesome.
Yes.
Continue.
So, yeah. So we go to White Castle and we're in line, and there's this massive bus in the parking lot, and we had no clue what was going on until this roadie comes up to us and goes, "Man, how'd you guys like the show tonight?" And me and Dave are like, "What show?" We didn't go to any show. And the guy's like, "You guys weren't at the show tonight?" We're like, "What show?" "No, we weren't at a show." And he's like, "Oh, that's Blues Travelers. They just walked out the door." Like John Popper was like 30 feet away from me, and I had no fucking idea.
With his fucking stack of fucking
sliders. With a sack of sliders. So that was the first funny White Castle story. The one that Denny brought up before the show started. Again, me and Dave out ne'er-do-welling, after a couple of cold snacks, had decided we wanted White Castle, and we're headed to the Richwood White Castle. On the way, there's a cop on the side of the road, and he's always there. He was always radaring, and Dave goes, "Man, it's got to be boring over there. I wonder if he wants White Castle." And in my genius at the moment, I go, "Let's fucking find out." So I pulled up next to him, rolled down the window. He did his. I'm like, "Hey man, we're going to White Castle. You want anything?" No, he didn't. Like, cool, man. All right.
What if he would have placed like an obnoxious big order?
I mean, I would have had to have got it at that point. You know?
Yeah, because you don't want to start any bad juju.
Yeah. I think what it was, he wasn't planning on being in that spot very much longer because when we came back through, he was gone. But yeah, so
would have been funny if he'd have showed up at White Castle later. You'd have been like,
if he would have, that would have been really interesting too, because it was in another county. Because then we would have known he was following us, or that we had planted the seeds of good food, and he decided to.
That does happen though.
Leave his shift and go there.
Yeah. You guys ever ate down in the log cabin inn?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Me and the wife went there yesterday morning for breakfast. It was really good.
Log cabin breakfast is good.
Yeah, man. That was pretty good.
Actually, awesome. I have one more White Castle story. So I don't know if this is the same thing everywhere. I don't know if they call it the same thing, but we had a thing called V school. Vocational school in high school.
Okay, vocational school.
The high school I went to, vocational school was not at the high school. You had to leave and go to another school. So my junior and senior year, I was only at high school half a day. Right. Right. So your junior year, you're whatever the hell they say you are. Your senior year, you could pick if you wanted AM or PM. Well, I always picked AMV, you know, because I would work my way out and get myself closer to home towards the end of the day instead of leaving from further away. You know, I'd be 15 minutes from home instead of 35. So I had AMV school. I also had a permanent parking pass to the V school where everybody else had to ride a bus. A few kids were allowed to drive, like the carpenter kids were allowed to drive because they left and went to job sites. I had a permanent parking pass because the principal of the vocational school was good friends with my friend's dad. So I just got an unlimited pass, right?
Nice.
These things happen. Yeah. I had teachers that would catch me in the afternoons, like, hey, on your way back from V school, snag me some White Castles. And I would literally be coming back from V school in my truck with like 4 bags of White Castles in the passenger seat, just trying to sneak them into the building for the teachers.
That's awesome.
Yep. I've done it quite a few times, actually.
This episode is brought to you by White Castle.
Yeah, definitely not Crystals.
Yeah, not Crystals.
I love the South, but you're Crystals.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're trying to be White Castle. This everybody knows.
This is your Kentucky White Castle.
Yeah.
Files.
It's a castle. It's royalty. Okay.
Yeah. Can we say any mystery from here on out is going to be a crave case instead of a cold case?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
One day, you know what we need to do one night?
Eat White Castles.
We need to get some White Castles, right? And do the fire pit thing and set up our cameras and do a show.
Yeah. And burn the whole fucking town down. Just ripping ass into a bonfire. It's going to be just like the cows in Mars Attacks. The cows in the pasture next to me are just going to be engulfed in flames, running for their lives.
Which is efficient if you think about it, because
this is true.
That's you know what I mean. As long as you put it out quick enough, so nobody wants a well done cow.
No.
You know what I mean?
No part of a cow should be well done.
I bet it would be a hilarious episode. It'd be funny. We'd probably laugh until we had a hernia.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think we should definitely do that. Cold snacks, White Castles, fire.
Yeah, it would be a heavy episode. You know what I mean? Probably too heavy to carry.
Yeah.
You know, cause all kinds of problems. You know, you'd laugh and then you just feel like a weird sensation, you know, like a pain.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to hernia surgery. So I've given him
I thought you were about to say hernia school.
Somebody's going to hernia school tomorrow to learn why we don't want hernias.
I think he's already learned that lesson.
Are you Tyler, are you prepared for the the taking it easy part of that? Dave was very concerned last night about you making sure that you rested and recovered.
Yeah.
Oh,
He flat out said that it's like the most important part of hernia surgery is the recovery.
He's like, the surgery itself ain't shit. He's like, but he's got to take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Josh are sitting there
Got to
like,
be like the Eagles.
Okay.
Oh, Dave was straight. He was straight momming you.
Yeah, like we weren't even like, we were sitting there like, well,
Oh,
let's
Yeah.
make fun of him more.
He was like, if he comes over to play, he's sitting down.
Yeah, dude. Like we were sitting there like,
okay.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
Mom. Shit, sorry.
Yeah.
Mother Dave, Mother Hen,
Mm-hmm.
Mother Dave Hen.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, don't get hurt on that guy's watch. You know,
Man,
dude, I'm prepared. Like if we're jamming and I get a splinter or something, you know, like
Dave,
Dave fucking just launches off of the fucking set, pins me to the ground. Like
He's not mother henning us because he's literally thrown drumsticks at me and
That's
laughed when you spit on me. So he's only worried about the little guy.
yeah.
no, little.
He's just a baby. The baby of the group.
He's our little guy. He's our little guy. Look
You're
at
a
him.
youngin.
Look
Look
at
at
him.
this
at the
little
young-
thing.
Look at his little finger. He's got a little finger.
Cute little finger.
His little finger. I'm gonna bite it. Hey.
Yeah, pull that picture up again. Let's see how short Tyler is compared to us.
Okay. Yeah, here we go.
Yep, he's a little fella.
When I see this picture, all I wish I had was M&M's to throw at me and Tyler.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna catch him.
Ah,
I've got this like, yee. And Tyler's like, ah. You know what? Dave kind of looks embarrassed that he's there with all of us.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, oh, Jesus. I need better friends.
Dude, do you realize that like we split ourselves by eye color too?
ah.
That's weird.
Well, I think Dave needs to be by me then, because his is a very deeper blue. Denny has a more of a lighter blue.
Yeah.
Not that I've been like staring in his eyes.
What color eyes do you have, Ty?
I got brown.
I'm
'Cause
hazel. So,
I'm
so
full
I
of
should.
shit.
I'm hazel, so I should be in between Dave and
There
you.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
This episode is brought to you by White Castle.
And
And pretty blue eyes.
yeah, and his blue eyes.
Look at him. He's
Ugh.
staring directly at the camera to make them ice blues get you.
So I guess y'all watching and listening probably want to hear some weird shit, huh?
I mean, that was pretty goddamn weird.
Well, I mean, yeah. Hey, here's a fucking unsolved mystery. How the fuck is this show still getting all of you to download it?
Yeah.
We need to solve that one. What is it? Somebody told me it wasn't during Hell Week, just this last week. By the way, everybody who survived the heat, bless your hearts. Those of you that didn't, you took the easy way out, you sons of bitches. You just died on me. You know, it was a hot son of a bitch. But I had one person say, I always make the joke when somebody says like, "Oh yeah, man, I've been listening to your show," and I always go, "I'm sorry." Well, sorry about that happening to you. You know. And somebody told me, they're like, you know what though, I like listening to you guys because it's like I'm hanging out with some buddies, having a cold beer, and literally just talking about weird shit. And that's what you guys are. And I was like, okay, cool. I feel like they're just being nice, to us. You know, they download the show out of they feel sorry. It's pity downloads.
Yeah.
We'll take them. I'm just kidding. So yeah, we got a little bit of weird shit here. I'm gonna start with our Facebook. Work's been crazy. Haven't been keeping up with this very well. Sorry about that. Here we go. We're getting to it. Got a message from Tim. I don't know if I'm supposed to put his last name out there, so I'm not gonna. He says, "Hello. I love your show, guys.
Thank you.
We're just guys. Okay. I love hearing your takes on shadow people, especially having seen them myself. I'm really captivated by the stories of the man in the hat. I have been featured on your show before. Oh, okay, Tim. Okay. Which I appreciated. I enjoyed it very much, so thank you. Anyway, I have two things for you. One, going back to the shadow people I've experienced, I recently, one recently since I've moved in my new house, I thought it may have been an evil or negative being rather than a shadow person. I woke up maybe 2 or 3 in the morning and it was floating above me. It was a dark shadow type and I could not move at all. I panicked. I yelled shit. I yelled shit no, and it vanished. So I think I'm reading this right. That was he like shit no, and he, you know what I mean?
As one would, yeah.
Yeah, man. If you see something fucking standing over you, right? It looked like a shadow person, but I've never seen one other than the man with the black hat actually try to cause harm. 2, you've been talking about some things related to mythology and ancient civilizations. I love that. One of my biggest interest is mythology and ancient religions. I have a few theories on the possible existence of many figures, creatures of higher powers. The first goes with something one of you said about the Big Bang. It wasn't a creation, but a destruction of a previous universe, which actually is a theory, by the way. I don't know if Tim, if you're up on that, but that is actually a pretty prominent theory about the creation of this universe. The destruction of a previous universe, some higher source, whether it was God, alien, or whatever creates a universe with humans, allows man to do whatever he wishes with it. And then after so long, the God or creator or alien destroys it and starts over again. That one is really based on this. Every religion, including Christianity, has had a creation myth and an apocalypse myth that are all different. A lot of these apocalypse myths are told like they've already happened. Another theory is the deities and heroes were kings, queens, warriors whose feats were exaggerated. It's kind of like Attila. He was real, but there were legends that were told about him. Monsters were just animals, possibly prehistoric animals who were exaggerated when talked about. An example of this would really is any monster that was giant reptilian-like, or as far as we know, still believed the dinosaurs, particularly the T-Rex, was the last giant reptilian. My last theory on that also kind of goes with your discussion on aliens is just this. The deities, including Christian God, were aliens, but they weren't what we see in movies. They were humanoid. Each received dominion over certain parts of the world. The Bible only tells us what went on in the Middle East, Rome, and Egypt. The Norse tells us of Eastern Europe, Shinto of Eastern Asia, and so forth. Well, that's my rant. I'm sorry it's so long. I appreciated the time. I love what you do. I'm looking forward to hearing more from the show. And one more thing. I've been curious if Denny has ever been able to contact his friend who had the air quotes demon following him or ever figured out what happened. On the last, no, I've got nothing. I wish I did. I wish I had something on that, but no, I don't have anything. I would have loved to know what went down after my small part in that story. But as far as the other theories, though, I mean, it's interesting to think that maybe each deity from each religion possibly was some kind of otherworldly being, which, I mean, you could still kind of, why do we make movies? Like, why do we write books? Why do we make movies? Okay. And we have a thing in our in our brains or whatever. We love taking in information. We love stimulating that part of the brain that has imagination, that lets us create, right? The more fictional things we read or look at, the more creative we tend to be, right? And I always wondered if, back then these stories were maybe the equivalent of like watching a movie now. Like for us, it's the, the Marvel, the MCU. It's like the Marvel universe. Back then it was the JCU. It was the Jesus Cinematic Universe, like what's Jesus doing this week, and they're writing stories about it or whatnot. No disrespect to religion, do your thing. But at some point, for a person like me, which is a weird belief system, because like the afterlife to me is not supernatural. It's just a natural part of the world. I don't really think that these questions could be ignored. You know, like maybe it was not so much of a supernatural thing. Maybe it was a, you know, like what to me, like what would be wrong with Jesus just being some dude that was like, hey man, be cool to each other. That's to me, that should be enough to be a movement. Like, hey man,
Right.
be cool to each other. Don't be a dick. You know what I mean? I would have been cool with that if they were like, yeah, dude, Jesus was this guy who just went around telling people like, don't be a dick, be cool to each other. You know what I mean? You got some extra change, man. Help your buddy out. You know, if your buddy's moving, you know, bring your truck over, help him. You know what I mean? Shit like that. I'm just saying, like, take all the supernatural out of it, and you're left with a pretty solid message there. You know, Buddha, be one with everything. I love the idea because Buddha is a heavy set dude. You know what I mean? So when he orders something, it's with everything. You know what I mean? So it's like that's still a pretty cool message. Be cool. You know, what happened, Josh?
I had a little glitch in the matrix here. It was weird.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You were like slow motion, Josh, for a second.
Yeah. Well, like you guys all went black screen circle, and then the Wi-Fi logo for some reason popped up in the corner.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought for sure with losing you guys. I was like, no. I got no internet.
Don't do it. Yeah, I don't know, Tim. As far as that goes, you know, the destruction of a universe to create one is actually that's a pretty prominent theory out there. A lot of people think that universes don't just spring into being; they're just kind of there. But yeah, you have to wonder, like, I mean, even at the start of everything, you know, why did it start? What kicked it off? You know,
Right?
Was it like an inevitability? You know what I mean? Like it was just this inevitable thing that was going to happen, or did something come up and shove it into the right, you know, into the right direction? And shadow people are fucking terrifying, and I still believe that it's just asshole people that pass through and continue to do asshole things. You know, yeah,
that makes sense.
Couldn't say it better myself.
That's the guy in the hat, though, man. That story. There's got to be somebody out there we can talk to that's like, you know, research the hell out of that. You know what I mean? You'd think.
Yeah.
There has to be like some person that just has some crazy information about the guy in the hat. Like, who can we get?
You know, and I've done a lot of looking into it, and I haven't even found anything historical, like, you know, like something from a long time ago where it points to it. Like, you know, I wonder if the hat's changed over the years, but you know, this isn't like a modern thing. The man in a hat can't be modern.
Right.
So like, has the hat changed, or was it always the same style hat, you know?
Right. Because I've heard it so many times. Like it's a brimmed hat or a cowboy hat, or at least it's described that way, you know?
Yeah. I've always known it as being like a derby or a brimmed fedora, not like the douchebag modern fedora, like the old gangster fedoras.
Yeah. Those guys, when they hung up their fedoras at night, they hung it up next to a Thompson minigun.
Yeah. Yeah, that fedora. Yeah. Not the guys that hang the fedora up next to, I don't know, an avocado toast sandwich.
It's funny.
Man, I just don't make any friends on this show.
Yeah.
I really got to stop picking everybody. Anyways.
There's this random dude eating avocado toast with his fedora, and he's like, you know what? Fuck this show. He just unsubscribes right then.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, you know, don't wear a fedora.
Yeah.
Don't.
You're not doing anybody any favors. Yeah.
Leave that to Indiana Jones and mobsters.
All right. That's funny. I got a message here from James.
Hi, James.
Hi, James. James says, "Hey guys, I was a guest on your show last October. Awesome. Glad to hear him keeping in touch. We discussed a few things about the human trafficking anomaly, or sorry, I misread that. We discussed a few things about human trafficking to the Kentucky anomaly discovered by NASA.
Yeah, this is isn't this Somerset, James?
I think I think it is.
Yeah.
Let's see here. He says, well, I've got some more stuff to discuss about recent paranormal events that happened to me and some friends. The first one happened. I was in Pulaski County. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Pulaski.
Okay, on Fishing Creek. I had done some work for an elderly friend of mine who was driving me back home that evening. Don, he's in his 80s and he's a Korean War veteran, as well as a very religious man. Was driving along close to my home in the center of Kentucky, the Kentucky Anonymous Zone, when we both noticed something moving through the tall grass in the field off to the right of the road. We couldn't tell what it was, so Don proceeds to slow the truck down to an almost stop completely in the road and let what we both thought was an animal of sorts just about and to see what we both thought was an animal of sorts. Sorry, the punctuation is a little off. I can't tell if he did like a speak to text or what. Just about the time Don's truck had almost stopped completely, an apparition which had changed animal forms from that of a small deer to that of a rabbit had entered the roadway, and it completely vanished in front of us. Don, who I've known for 20 plus years, who I've talked with on many subjects, was never a believer in the paranormal, was dumbfounded, and he turned to me bewildered and looked at me in dismay. Jim, what the hell was that? And I said in amazement and utter excitement, well, Don, do you want the scientific or the religious or the atheist answer? Because I could give you all three. But the fact that I just witnessed this with you is a fact. And the fact that there is dead calm when none of my answers are going to satisfy you. Now this next paranormal event, I would have liked to know more about the conversation after that happened.
Right.
James, if you're listening to this, man, follow up. I'd like to know how the rest of that night went. This next paranormal event just happened to me and my brother-in-law at two different spots. My brother-in-law and my sister were waiting at a traffic four-way stop sign on blank removed for location near an old cemetery. Now, this cemetery hasn't been used for a long time, and my sister just noticed it after living in this area for 30 years. She said to my brother, I never knew that cemetery was there. At that moment, my brother-in-law's phone turned itself on with a man's voice said to him, do you want to know about the ghost who haunts here? A day later, after I'd taken some pictures of strange things I often do in the anomaly zone, I was sitting in the car and with my sister looking at the pics I'd just taken again, and the entity speaks from my brother-in-law's cell phone, and it says, seeing is believing. I was elated to have some kind of interaction, and I wish there was a piece of tech that I'm sure someone will invent soon that will help give us in the field of paranormal study a way to pre-message warning so that we may able to record what happens as they occur in the anomaly. So I take it he's hanging out in that zone where the anomaly happened. You guys know what I'm talking about, the geomagnetic event or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is really weird that did happen in Kentucky. But I think James hangs out there and he conducts his own research in the area. It's pretty wild. I mean, it's hard for me to. It's really hard for me to go at paranormal shit because I'm like, man, I've had a couple weird things happen to me, and it really takes your kind of takes your skepticism and it just fucks with it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do.
I started off
I'm still a big time skeptic, so anything that's happened to me, I still have that what the fuck was it? You know?
Yeah.
You know, because I don't automatically go to the paranormal. I'm try like hell to figure out what would have caused it that's a natural occurrence.
That's kind of where when I was, when I was younger coming up, I was full blown atheist, complete skeptic of everything.
Yeah.
Then a series of weird things happened. And then now I'm kind of like, I still have my skeptic side, which I'm sure you guys have seen come out several times, but it's really hard for that subject for me.
Yeah.
That particular subject. Now, I imagine if one night I'm just, I go out to take a whiz, on a tree or something, and I get yanked up into a spaceship, you're going to hear a different side of me the next day. I'm going to be like, fully fucking believe the aliens grabbed me. Well, I was taking a whiz, man. That was kind of rude, but they grabbed me. They put me up there, or if I'm out there taking a whiz on a tree and Bigfoot grabs me, you might see a different side of me then too. It's just, I haven't really had actual experiences with those things, so I'm still on the fence.
Right.
Ghost stories, though, I've had so many at this point that I'm like, all right, I guess I'll chalk it up. I don't know how the science works, but sure is weird. I don't know. I'd love to go visit that anomaly zone though. Just check that out.
We really should make a day trip one time and go down that way.
That'd be really badass. Just check it out, do some filming.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Let me see here. I think I might. Yeah, I think I'm all out of Facebook messages, but I got this one here. All right, so this one had a video accompanying it, short video. But let me read you this. This is from that's another James fan of the show. This one he's been listening for a while. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. Okay. Good morning, guys. I had an idea last night. Oh no, that's his old email. My bad. Do you guys remember where he sent a message a while back about trying to figure out what the tree structures people find are, and he said would it be weird if it was the bodies were underneath of them and it was like a grave marker?
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, that's James. Okay, so I almost read his old email here. Let me scroll down here. I hate the way this email works. Here it is. Okay. Hey guys, I emailed you guys a while ago. I have a question if you wouldn't mind. I was driving into work Friday morning. I'm a logger, and I cut off some deer and shortly realized that I may have cut off a group of Bigfoot on their hunt. I got some rock clacking and a couple of rocks thrown at me in my truck on the video. I got some rock clacking and a couple of rocks thrown at my truck on video and audio. The next day, I brought some vegetables up to apologize. This is the part I'm curious about. I found a skunk ripped completely in half. One piece was ribs to nose, and the other was lower half, no blood on the road. There was no tracks anywhere and nothing chewed on it. Now I'm up behind a private mine, very secluded. I'm interested if I can send map, pictures, and a video of the skunk. One cool part I'm working on is close to a piece of state ground called the Hoodoo Wilderness Research Area.
All right.
So I said, dude, send it away. Yeah. I mean, why not? So here's this clip here. If you guys want to see it, you guys listening on streaming, you're going to have to go to the YouTube channel. And after you click subscribe, then you click on it, you watch it. Tell us what you think. And thumbs up it too. That's part of it. It won't play unless you click thumbs up. I heard that. Here you go.
So this is weird. I came up and this was not here when I left Friday. but it's a skunk. It's a skunk that's been ripped in half. It's weird.
I could smell that video. You guys ever seen a skunk ripped clean in half?
I'm just trying to figure, like, what could have caused that? Like, any, like, could it, like, there was no, it didn't look like anything ran it over.
Play it again.
I feel like,
Yeah.
Yeah, play it again. Let's
That's weird, isn't it?
let's slow this down and look at let's look at the clues in the background.
So this is weird. I came up, and this was not here when I left Friday, but it's a skunk. It's a skunk that's been ripped in half. It's weird.
I mean, okay, I have a lot of varmints out here, but I've yet to see that before.
Right.
But what would be the purpose? Any animal, what would be the purpose? Was it like,
Fuck skunk.
okay,
hate skunks. I don't know.
why would it just rip it in half though?
What would do it? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It would at least, like, wouldn't it eat some of it, like bite marks?
I mean,
And how? Okay, and that's another thing too. What animal is able to just, without bite marks, rip it apart?
well, my first thought was maybe somebody cleaved it, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
but he's
It's an awful
nowhere.
clean cut. It's an awful clean cut. All right.
It doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
It's like
It-
cleaved.
Yeah, it looks cleaved. And that's why one of the reasons why I wanted you to play it again, I wanted to pay attention to the grass and stuff in the background and make sure, like, maybe it didn't get hit by a bush hog or something. But the grass isn't mowed. But I mean, we don't know how long the body's been there.
He said Friday, so he just recently sent that over the weekend.
Oh, I'm gonna play it one more time, and I'm looking for something in particular. Okay, let me see one more time.
So this is weird. I came up, and this was not here when I left Friday, but it's a skunk. It's a skunk that's been ripped in half. It's weird.
Okay, so it's kind of weird because I have seen animals with a pretty clean cut like that in regards to a semi.
Yeah.
There's on a semi tires, especially steer tires, they have a really hard edge to them, which can, if going fast enough, can whoop right in half. But again, I'm like, would you have a semi out there and wouldn't you notice if one's been through there? It doesn't look like it, but
Well, I was just he did say he was part of a logging company, right?
so
So there could have been
maybe
a
not
semi,
a semi, but maybe like a big truck.
yeah, some type
know.
of big truck. And another thing too is, like, it could have, like, hitched a ride on somebody's vehicle and got caught in the tires or something of that nature. That,
Because I mean that's fresh because the birds weren't even into it yet.
yeah, so it literally, if it, yeah, it could have just happened, like,
Yeah.
like I would maybe a little bit more than minutes, but
Yeah, because he
before
said
he passed it.
yeah, found it.